The Young and the Restless spoilers shock. Monday, full August 18, 2025. In the upcoming The Young and the Restless episodes, a storm is brewing as tensions between key characters reach a boiling point. Billy Abbott, Chelsea Lawson, and Adam Newman are set to collide in a fierce confrontation, with deep personal stakes and unresolved conflicts pushing them toward explosive interactions. Meanwhile, Cain Ashby finds himself at a crossroads, forced to abandon his plans due to the mounting pressure from Lily Winters. The intricate web of relationships, loyalty, and betrayal is about to get even more tangled. Billy faces Adam and Chelsea's alarming revelation. The tension escalates when Adam drops a bombshell on Chelsea, informing her that Cain Ashby has officially been exposed as Aristotle Dumas, a criminal with a past shrouded in mystery. At first, Chelsea is thrilled by this revelation. After all, Cain's past crimes are well known, and seeing him exposed could provide a sense of justice for those he's wronged. But then, Adam delivers the gut punch. Billy Abbott is also tied into the scandal. The news shakes Chelsea to her core, and she's left grappling with the realization that the man she has trusted, Billy, has unknowingly placed himself in the line of fire. The revelation of Billy's involvement in the scandal, however unintended, becomes a turning point for Chelsea. As she processes the news, she comes to terms with the reality that Billy, in his efforts to protect the Abbott legacy, has potentially put everything, including his family, at risk. She can't help but feel a sense of betrayal, even though she knows he was trying to do the right thing. Her emotional turmoil only deepens when she realizes that Adam, ever the manipulator, has been playing both sides, using her affection for Billy as a tool to further his own agenda. Billy walks into a trap as Adam and Chelsea share a charged moment. Billy enters the scene, his eyes narrowing as he notices the celebratory mood between the two. "Two of you celebrating, then?" Billy asks, his tone biting. "You two had to stick a knife in and twist it, huh? Congratulations." Billy's words hang in the air, dripping with sarcasm and anger, but Adam, ever the calm strategist, responds with his usual level of detachment. "Cain's the real focus here," Adam counters, brushing off Billy's remark. "You're just a small part of the bigger picture." Billy's frustration reaches a boiling point, and he lashes out at Adam, defending his own actions. "You're attacking his character, and that will come back to haunt all of us," Billy retorts, his voice rising. "This is bigger than money, Adam, and you know it." But Adam isn't fazed by Billy's outburst. Instead, he presses on, his words laced with mockery. "If you're so upset about it, why don't you take it up with Abbott Communications?" Adam suggests with a sly grin. "But, of course, that's not even up and running yet, is it?" The insult cuts deep, reminding Billy of his recent failure to secure Chancellor Communications, a blow to his ego and business aspirations that he hasn't fully recovered from. Adam seizes the opportunity to twist the knife even further. "Didn't Jill take the company from you because you didn't have the competence to lead it?" Adam sneers. "You'll never be good enough, Billy. You never were." Chelsea, fed up with the escalating tension, steps in to defuse the situation. "That's enough, Adam," she snaps, standing between the two men. "Don't make this worse than it already is." Billy's exit and the search for redemption. As the confrontation simmers, Billy, unable to hold back his anger, storms out of the room. He needs a break from the chaos, a moment to clear his head and process everything that's happened. As he walks away from the fallout with Adam and Chelsea, he heads to a familiar place, Victoria Newman's office. Victoria has been a steady presence in his life, someone who has always supported him despite his flaws. Now, in his moment of crisis, Billy seeks her out for comfort. When Billy enters Victoria's office, he's immediately struck by her presence, calm, composed, and yet filled with unspoken pain. The two exchange pleasantries before Billy asks about her well-being. "How are you doing?" Billy inquires, his voice softening. Victoria, ever the graceful and compassionate figure, responds with a hint of sadness in her eyes. "I'm doing okay, Billy. I'm grateful I was able to be with Cole Howard in his final moments," she says, her voice filled with quiet gratitude. The mention of Cole, who passed away under tragic circumstances, brings a wave of emotion to the room. Billy knows the pain Victoria still carries with her, and he wishes he could do more to ease it. As they continue talking, Victoria opens up about her experiences with Cole, expressing her gratitude for the time they shared together. Despite the tragedy, she feels comforted by the fact that she was able to be there for him when he needed her most. Billy listens intently, offering the kind of understanding and support that only a close friend or loved one can provide. But as their conversation continues, something shifts in Victoria's tone. She acknowledges the support Billy has offered her over the years, and with a soft smile, she expresses her gratitude. "I'm really thankful, Billy," she says, her voice steady. "Your support means more to me than you know." Billy, humbled by her words, feels a sense of warmth wash over him. He's always been there for Victoria, and hearing her words of appreciation reminds him of the bond they share. In the midst of all the chaos, the betrayals, and the uncertainty surrounding him, Billy is reminded that some relationships are worth holding on to, no matter how difficult the road ahead may seem. The future of Abbott Enterprises and family loyalty. As the drama continues to unfold in Genoa City, the future of Abbott Enterprises hangs in the balance. Billy's position within the company is increasingly precarious, with Jack Abbott questioning his leadership and Sally Spectra eyeing the top spot. Billy's dedication to his family and his legacy has always been his driving force, but now, with the revelation of Cain Ashby's involvement in the Newman family's plans, Billy finds himself at the center of a web of deceit and manipulation. The consequences of his past decisions are catching up to him, and as the stakes continue to rise, Billy must find a way to prove his worth to his family and restore their faith in him. Meanwhile, Chelsea's loyalty is being tested, as she finds herself torn between the man she loves and the father of her child. Adam Newman's manipulative tactics are pushing Chelsea to the brink, and her decision to stand by Billy, or to choose Adam, will have far-reaching consequences for all involved. Tessa Porter also remains in the background, unsure of where her place is in this shifting emotional landscape. As Chelsea faces the impossible choice between two men, her decision could change the course of her life and the lives of those she holds dear. And then, there's Cain, who remains an unpredictable wild card. With his plans increasingly exposed, Cain must navigate the dangerous waters of loyalty, power, and love. Lily Winters remains his greatest vulnerability, and as their relationship evolves, so too does the question of whether Cain can truly leave behind the dark forces that have shaped his past. Or will he once again fall victim to his own impulses, and risk losing everything, including Lily? As the twists and turns continue, fans can expect more heartbreak, betrayal, and unexpected alliances in the coming weeks. The Young and the Restless is never short of surprises, and with the stakes higher than ever, the next few episodes promise to keep audiences on the edge of their seats, wondering what will happen next in this tangled web of family, love, and ambition. At Crimson Lights, Sharon sat across from Nick, the weight of her daughter Mariah's distance hanging heavily on her heart. It had been weeks since Mariah had begun to pull away, refusing to confide in her, shutting her out. Sharon had done everything in her power to reach out, to offer support, but Mariah was more closed off than ever. Sharon was frustrated, she couldn't fix what she couldn't understand, and the silence between them felt unbearable. "I just don't get it," Sharon confided, looking down at her cup of coffee. "I keep trying, Nick, but she just keeps pushing me away. I don't know how much longer I can keep waiting for her to come around. I'm trying to be patient, but it's hard." Her voice trembled slightly, a reflection of the emotional toll this situation was taking on her. Nick looked at her, his expression softening as he placed his hand over hers. "I've got something that might help," he said with a small but genuine smile, eager to lift her spirits. He paused, glancing around the cafe before continuing. "I've been assigned to work with Cain on this whole corporate mess Victor is concerned about." Sharon raised an eyebrow. "That doesn't sound like a good assignment." "Cain? Seriously," she asked, her concern written all over her face. Victor is really that worried about what Cain could do? Nick's expression darkened. Yeah, I'm extremely worried about Cain. And so is Victor. Cain's been acting strange lately, and it's not just business anymore. There's something personal at play. It's more dangerous than it seems. Sharon leaned back in her chair, her mind racing with questions. Why do you always end up on the front lines, Nick? She asked, genuinely curious, though also sensing a deeper layer to his involvement. It wasn't just about the job, there was something more personal driving him to be so deeply involved. Nick sighed, his tone serious. I do this for you, too. You know Cassidy first could be a target as well. I can't let that happen. I've got to protect the family. He was trying to mask the intensity of his feelings, but Sharon caught the undertone of concern in his voice. Her heart softened at his words. I haven't even thought about that, Nick. You're right, she admitted, her mind now focused on the bigger picture that had been clouded by her personal frustrations. Then, with a mixture of tenderness and uncertainty, Sharon added, You know, I feel closer to you right now than I have in a long time. Nick looked at her, a spark of recognition in his eyes. I guess you could say you can tell me anything, he replied quietly, leaning in just slightly. Sharon met his gaze, her heart fluttering in her chest. She hadn't meant to say it out loud, but the words came tumbling out anyway. Or, you could show me. Without a word, Nick leaned in, his lips brushing hers in a gentle kiss, one that seemed to linger just a bit longer than either of them had anticipated. For that fleeting moment, all the tensions, all the chaos of their lives seemed to melt away. It was just the two of them, no work, no obligations, just a connection that had always been there but was often overshadowed by everything else. But just as the kiss deepened, the door to Crimson Lights swung open, and Chelsea and Adam stepped in, their eyes widening in surprise at the sight before them. Sharon and Nick pulled apart, the sudden intrusion bringing them back to reality. Chelsea raised an eyebrow, her eyes flicking between Sharon and Nick with a mixture of curiosity and something else Sharon couldn't quite place. Adam, ever the observant one, smirked slightly, his gaze narrowing. Nick, always quick on his feet, straightened and met Adam's gaze, his voice steady but tinged with defiance. Well, Adam, I guess you could say I wanted Cain to be closer to me. Guess we're all part of the same mess, aren't we? Adam's expression didn't shift, but the tension in his shoulders was evident. He wasn't about to let this moment slide without getting a dig in. You two seem awfully close, he remarked, his eyes lingering on Sharon for a moment longer than necessary. Sharon's throat tightened, but she kept her composure. Yes, it's true, Adam, she said simply, her tone firm. Nick and I have been through a lot, and I think it's time we acknowledge that. Adam's lips twitched, his hands resting at his sides as he turned to walk away. Before he left, he gave Sharon one last piece of advice. Just don't let him hurt you again, Sharon, he warned, his voice low but sincere. Sharon nodded, watching Adam leave with a feeling of dread settling in her stomach. But as soon as Adam and Chelsea were out of earshot, Sharon turned to Nick with a mix of confusion and vulnerability. What does this mean, Nick? She asked, her voice almost a whisper. What are we doing? Nick, his mind still reeling from the kiss and the confrontation with Adam, met Sharon's eyes. I don't know, Sharon. But I do know that I want to protect you, to keep you safe. I want to be there for you, whatever happens next. His words were sincere, though the weight of everything else with Cain, Victor, and their messy history hung between them. Before Sharon could respond, a new dynamic entered the scene as Cain Ashby found himself sitting across from Lily Winters in an intimate setting. Their history was complex, fraught with love, betrayal, and unspoken truths. Cain had always known how to keep Lily close, but now, the stakes had never been higher. I don't care about the rest of the companies in this town, Lily, Cain said, his voice dark with determination. The only company I want is Chancellor. That's where my future lies. Lily, skeptical as ever, narrowed her eyes at him. You're hiding something, Cain. What are you really after? This doesn't just make sense, she challenged, not trusting the sincerity in his tone. Cain's lips twitched, but he remained silent, his mind working behind the scenes. I'll tell you everything after we see the kids, he proposed, leaning back, offering her a smile that was both charming and frustrating. We'll talk then. Lily's patience was wearing thin, and her eyes burned with the intensity of her suspicion. No, Cain. No deals. You're not going to manipulate me like you always do. If we're doing this, you're telling me everything. I won't keep quiet, especially not when it comes to our children. Cain's gaze softened for a moment, and the facade of indifference cracked. I never stopped loving you, Lily. I don't want you to doubt that, he confessed, his voice full of regret and longing. But I need you to trust me on this. We can make this work. Together. Lily felt a familiar pang deep in her chest, the echo of a love that had once seemed so certain. But now, with everything that had happened between them, the future seemed uncertain. Her thoughts raced, could she really trust Cain again? Or had his past sins been too much to overcome? The emotional weight of the situation was almost unbearable. She looked at him, her voice steady but resolute. We've been down this road before, Cain. And I'm not sure I can do it again. She paused, her heart caught between the past and the future. But I'm willing to hear you out. Just know this, if you break my trust again, I won't hesitate to walk away for good. As Lily stared at Cain, wondering if he was truly capable of change, she couldn't shake the fear that his promises were just another trap. With her heart and her family at stake, the stakes had never been higher. The tangled web of emotions, love, and betrayal continues to deepen in Genoa City, and no one seems immune to the shifting dynamics. Sharon, Nick, Billy, Chelsea, Cain, and Lily are all walking dangerous lines, and as the drama unfolds, their decisions will have irreversible consequences. The question remains, will they find redemption or fall deeper into the chaos that defines their lives? Only time will tell, and in Genoa City, time is always a luxury few can afford.